Well, greetings and welcome back to Acadian Comics. I'm your host, James Fondren, and today is a special day. I am going to be reviewing Inglorious Rex Volume 2. That's this book right here. So the three books that I have on Shane Davis's last campaign for the Inglorious Rex series was the two supplemental books, Blood, Sweat, and Tears Volume 1, Blood, Sweat, and Tears Volume 2, and I guess there was a matching version for this Volume 1, but I didn't get it. So they're supposed to go together, the two covers. And then obviously the main book, Inglorious Rex Volume 2. So I'm going to put these two to the side for a minute, and we're going to look at the main book. Now, there is a lot of value in the supplemental books, so I would say if you do get an opportunity to read those or acquire them, there's a lot of great backstory in there that's going to help clarify certain aspects of plot, but it's not essential to the main storyline. And as I'm going to reveal a little bit, I don't want to get too much into spoilers with the story. I want people to go out and read this book and enjoy it as I did. Have you ever read a comic book that was over before you wanted it to be over? I've done that with a couple of books that were really good, and Inglorious Rex Volume 2 is that. It was over before I felt like I started. I was just getting settled into it, and the action was picking up, and the pace was picking up, and the excitement was picking up, and the stakes just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's when I knew, damn, this is a good book. So, like I said with the supplemental books, I feel like I'm glad I read the main book first, then I went back and read the supplemental books. That would be my recommendation to people, would be to read the main book first and then go back and read the supplementals if you can get access to those, because just the surprise of how things kind of unfurl, how the plot unfurls in Inglorious Rex 2 was great, and kind of having the mystery and not understanding, oh, how did this happen, or why is this happening, or, it wasn't like I need explanation. It was, wow, what are they going to do next? So let's get right into it. So I like to do my full reviews, my serious reviews, and there's five tiers of the review. There's 5 tenets of the review. So presentation of the book, the composition, actually, I guess there's only 4 here. So it'd be presentation, composition, story, themes, and motifs, and then my conclusion of the book. So let's get right into it. I would say the presentation of the comic book itself, it's very clean. It's a quality book, and I enjoyed reading it, and the presentation of it is nice. It's top tier. They have, the pages are solid pages. It's not thin page stuff. It's really good. And, I'm not going to show every page out of respect to the creator, Shane Davis, but I wanted to kind of show people this is what you can expect, the level of quality and comic book art and presentation of the book. So the presentation, spot on. Nicely done. Let's talk about composition. What do I mean about composition? I mean the overall comic book pages, right? So you've got your coloring, your inked details, the composition as a sequential art. You're getting top tier, high quality composition here in a Shane Davis book. You just are. I love the cityscapes. I love all the different scenes that you're getting out of this, and it's just, the action is well drawn too, but the story and everything, it flows. And I think that's another reason why this book was over before I wanted it to be over, because just the flow of how you read the book and how you go from panel to panel to panel, magnificent, spot on, excellent, top tier for sure. The story, the themes, the motifs. So I'm going to talk about the story for a minute, okay? A little bit. In this, the story continues from Inglorious Rex 1 with the protagonist, Alex Stone, continuing to fight in the Rex arenas of Arc City with his Rex 232. Outside of Arc City, I mean, it's a poison wasteland, scorched earth. where there are beings known as the vile, and that's where they live. That's their habitat. The outside world belongs to them, and they will kill anything or anyone that encroaches on their grounds or their habitat. I gotta say, the theme of not giving up and getting back up after getting knocked down is a great motif and theme to express in a comic book. It's inspirational. So the doubts that Alex Stone has during Volume 2, his character has about his purpose and why he's fighting, are reminiscent of like Rocky Balboa and Rocky 3. Like, yeah, he's the champ, but what is he fighting for? Why does he lack control over his Rex 232? These questions are answered at the end of Volume 2, so I'm not going to spoil that, but there is a payoff for that sort of inner struggle and dialogue. We get more insight into Little T, the Vince McMahon of Rex fighting. Here's Little T right here, talking about how controlling people's minds is really controlling their wallets rather than just getting their money. He wants their minds so they produce their wallets, and for him, that's good business, right? So that's Little T's character. He's sort of like the Vince McMahon of all this, if you can equate him to somebody. He's a fun and interesting character, and he is the bad guy in all this. He's a crooked guy, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, back to the story and the plot. I mean, Inglorious Rex 2, what if there's one line that could be a summation for this book and just kind of independent creation in general that's being expressed in an allegory that is coming true, and we're seeing it all the time, where people's voices are being stunted on the internet, and their opportunities to get to self-promote and speak out about their work and get people engaged and offer a product to them, offer not just a product but a good comic and a story, that gets stifled. The one line I would say that really embodies that whole concept of not giving up and not quitting is, you can't beat someone who keeps getting back up. So I hope that Shane continues to produce what he's doing. I know he will. He's a great artist, and he's going to produce top tier, high quality work in his books and his art. It's just amazing. So that's story and motifs. I want to talk a little bit. I forgot to mention something in composition, and just by coincidence, I turned to the page. I really like how Shane has taken one panel and spread it across 2 pages. So you're reading and reading. It's great. It flows. It's got such a great flow to it. So back to the whole composition, really well done. I mean, he's got a real sense of action here, and the anatomy and how a kick is going to look, and I believe that comes greatly from his martial arts background and experience. He knows the movement. He knows that it's embedded within him, and he's expressing it on the page. So one last question I want to and let me see if I can pull it up here. I don't want to spoil too much. So here's a shot, a 2-page spread. It's beautiful of Arc City, right? And then you've got like the scorched poison earth, and here are the Vile, and they have Vile that are on the ground, and they have Vile that are like Bat Vile, and they fly, and they can fly in the air. But one question about the Vile in Inglorious Rex 2 remains for me: is how did the Vile come to inhabit the whole planet? Are they aliens who invaded? Or were they genetically engineered by humanity? Was it like some sort of runaway gain of function research and experimentation gone wrong, right? I mean, perhaps we'll find out in the future, in future issues of Inglorious Rex that Shane Davis releases through 9 Lives Comics. Or maybe I think it's too big of a question to put in the supplementals. I think he'll probably address it at some point in a main book, I would hope. But we'll just have to wait and see. So what's my conclusion? I thoroughly enjoyed Inglorious Rex 2. And as soon as I got to the end of the book, I wanted more. I believe the campaign for Inglorious Rex 3 is going to begin and open up in late July of this year. So I recommend people go over to 9livescomics.com, and they have a mailing list, an emailing list. You can sign up. And I think there's some perks that Shane has mentioned for signing up early when that opens up. If you sign up to their mailing list, before they start the campaign. I think there's like some lenticular cards and some things that are going to be added perks, if you will. But you'd have to check that out. I would recommend this comic to anyone who is looking for an excellent independent comic to read. What is my takeaway? My takeaway is that singular line: you can't beat someone who keeps getting back up. And Shane Davis has produced another awesome comic book. His dedication to being an independent artist, producing fun storylines, and quality comic book art is inspiring to see. So in closing, I would say I give this book 9 out of 10 little T's. So I hope you enjoyed this review of Inglorious Rex. Of course, I went very light on the plot points. I want people to read this book. I hope you get the opportunity to read this book. But it is sort of rare and exclusive. It's not like going into a comic book shop and, hey, I'm going to pick up this week's haul and I'm going to get something on New Comics Day. You have to be tied into the community. So you have to back these books and you have to support the artist who creates them. So I would recommend go check out 9 Lives Comics on YouTube. Their YouTube channel is 9 Lives Comics. And you can check out more on their website at 9livescomics.com. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And I'll catch you right here next time at Acadian Comics. Bye for now.